This is a foundation inspection. Now we have erosion here right at the corner, and I can tell you exactly what's causing it. It's the gutter runoff, and you can see it's starting to undermine the foundation. Got quite a hole and gap there, it's just water that's doing that. And the solution is so simple. All you have to do is put a gutter extension pipe on here and run it out about 6 foot. They're very cheap, and they cost $6 or $7, and they protect your foundation. So I highly recommend that. This is a post-tension cable end. We're right at the corner of the building, the left rear elevation, and you can see there's a post-tension cable end showing in the foundation. That needs to be covered up. It's called parging, and that protects it and stops it from rusting out. We're now at the front left elevation. Okay, we're looking at the foundation. We're now at the front right elevation. We're at the front right side elevation. Again, we've got some little bit of erosion here. You can see it's washed off the top surface. It may be gutter overrun, right? It's just a sheer volume of water. Grading inspection. We're looking to see the grade actually slopes away from the building, and it does here. We've got a slope. What we're looking for is enough slope to allow it to drain. We don't want it pooling. That can cause wet spots around the foundation, and that in itself can cause a problem. We have some landscaping here, but it's still tiered and got spots for the area to drain. And finally, we'll move into the right elevation of the property. And as you can see, we've got a nice slope away here, so the grading's looking pretty good. Rear elevation, we're inspecting the roof from the ground. It's too steep for me to climb on. And here, we're going to identify issues that need to be addressed. Well, one issue is right up here. Right away above it here, there's a vent very easy to extend the height of the flue up above the actual roof line. It should be on a slope like this about 3 to 4 feet, and it's not. We're continuing the inspection of the rear elevation of the roof. Now we're at the left elevation of the property, and the problem here, we've got the flashing at the right of the gable lifting. We're now looking at the front elevation of the roof. This is the attic inspection. We're at the attic over the garage, and because it's over the garage, you'll see that there's no insulation, blown insulation. It's been half finished out, could be turned into another room. The attic decking has radiant barrier on it, which is good to know. Well, we have a venting in the attic. That's incorrect. That should be carried out of the roof space or capped. We have one here that has been capped. It's clearly been intended perhaps to be a bathroom, this area here, and that has been left uncapped. So that's going to allow methane and sewer gases into this attic area here, which of course is a no-no. We don't want that happening. I'm in the attic over the master. We're looking at the general construction of the attic. Now, these are gas pipes, and as such they shouldn't be run unprotected across the service boards. You see they're here. It's quite possible for you to tread on them, and that could lead to damage. In addition, what we've got here, we've got electrical cabling running along in close proximity to the gas pipes. Now the gas pipes have an insulation on it, it's plastic, so that's good. However, as you can see, this is a potential for damage or danger because of the condition, or the condition where the electrical cables and the gas pipes run together. I like to see them completely separated. I would prefer to see these gas pipes run up over the rafters and suspended, rather than placed in this way on the deck itself, where they can be damaged by people treading on them. Now here we've got nails that have been used to hold the gas pipe in place. That really is quite a very poor piece of workmanship. It should have a bracket, and they've been using nails all the way along here. And we've got this one here. You can see the nail head is now embedded into the actual gas line itself. I recommend that a master plumber inspects this whole condition of these gas lines and recommends solutions to make it safe. We're in the upper attic still, over the master. We're looking at a gas line supplying the furnace here, and you see how the gas line actually comes into contact with the safety tray. Now, although the gas line has a plastic coating on it, I'm not happy at all about that line being in contact with metal. At some point it could move, it could come into contact with a sharp edge of the tray, and that could possibly cut the line. I know that's a lot of coulds, but we're talking about safety here, and there can be no compromise. This is a very good case in point regarding nails being used to secure gas lines. The nail head, the upper one, actually is cutting into the plastic coating. That is not very far away from cutting through it. And when that does so, it's going to cut the line and allow gas to get into the attic. This is not a professional installation. I would be very surprised if the whoever fitted these lines was either certified in any way. This is the gas supply line here that goes into the actual unit itself. It's passing into the unit, and I can see that the unit actually has a plastic grommet around it. However, the requirement is for steel to pass through that area and not the pipe here. Again, I would recommend that you consult a certified plumber about this very condition and to find out whether or not that's okay. I don't think it is. I'm not an expert in it, I'm just a general home inspector, but certainly it leaves a lot to be desired to see metal passing, these flexible tubes, gas tubes, passing into the metal cabinetry. There's water in the safety pan for the air conditioning unit, and it's got a lot of rust. I recommend that this unit is inspected by an air conditioning engineer, because I suspect the coil's in there and I can't do anything about it. I can't open it up and look inside. You can see here we've got electrical cables running across the service board unprotected. They've got to be protected. The exterior wall and window inspection. We're starting off at the front left elevation. First thing to notice is that we have steel lintels here. They should have weep holes above the lintels to allow the wall space between the inside of the house and the outside to ventilate, and it doesn't have it. So weep holes need to be installed. This is also true for weep holes and lintels. Weep holes should be in lintels over windows as well. Steel lintel here, I've got no weep hole. This is a wooden lintel and it doesn't need weep holes. Left elevation has weep holes missing from over the garage itself. We've also got signs of some sort of settlement going on here. You can see here we've got this gap here. It's moving, the doorway is moving away from the actual brickwork. You see quite a substantial amount of movement there. Now this is the corner where we found a little bit of erosion down there. It doesn't necessarily mean there's subsidence here, but there is early signs of it. And above here, you see there's a small hairline crack running down to the brickwork. So we do have some common settlement at the front left elevation. We have substantial settlement here. So you can see here we've got a crack. The crack is about 3/8 of an inch, and I think that's definitely tied into the foundation subsidence here. The ground may have been quite undermined, more than I can actually see it from here. But you can see the crack here, you could get your small finger in it. We're moving to the rear left elevation of the property. Again, weep holes missing. There's an aviary here. I'm not going to go in. I'm not sure if there's birds in here or not. Let's see if I can get to it from the inside of the house. We're now at the rear middle elevation, and there's settlement cracks above the windows here. And there's a settlement crack coming down here. Another settlement crack here. And here. So we've now established that we've got settlement cracks at both the left side elevation and the rear elevation. Settlement crack coming down the side of the window here. We're just to the left of the porch as we look at the rear porch. We're looking at the yard door in the garage, and of course it was the garage, over the garage edge. We found some settlement, and we can see we've got settlement here in the sheetrock, crack running from the door, top of the door up to the ceiling. There's general indications of movement in the building. You can see here that the trim around the window has moved apart. And then as we move round, you can see that there's been a crack here. It's been repaired. It's running from there. There's another crack here, and the crown moulding is opening up there. We have a crack here that's been repaired. It's been there before. Likewise here, all the way around. You see here it's actually been caulked to fill the gap. So there's been movement in this side of the house for a while. You can see down here we've got considerable movement around the frame itself. It's starting to distort around the frame. And here above the window in this area here, we've actually got some buckling of the sheetrock. Continuing on, we have a crack around the main frame here and buckling of the sheetrock between the window and the door. And here we have a crack. No, we don't have a crack, that's just dust. Can fool you sometimes, you see. But we do have opening up here of the crown moulding and the trim around the window. Further on here, we're now at the rear door. It's okay. Coming into the master suite. Evidence of a water leak which has been reported by the homeowner. And now we're going into the master bedroom. Okay, so there are multiple signs of settlement around the building. All I can tell you is that it has signs of it. I can't predict the future. If you have any concerns, you should consider having a structural engineer inspect the property. My feeling is it's just common settlement. There's nothing much to worry about. I have to say that on a lot of the properties I come into on a daily basis, this type of settlement is very common. I'm in the attic over the garage, and what we're looking at is the construction and the fit of the rafters as they go up to the centerboard there, and you can see there's a big gap and not actually in contact in a number of places as they should be. I don't know whether that is a result of movement in recent times or that was how it was constructed, but it does suggest, because we found movement in the walls below, that that's indicating movement in the structure itself. This is the fireplace inspection. It has a gas supply for lighting gas logs, not gas logs, just logs. Now this is the damper control. That's combustion air control. And in here we have a damper. Now, a lot of wood has been burnt on this, so I recommend it's cleaned. They can be a major cause of fires, and it doesn't do any harm to have them swept at a regular interval. Well, the damper opens, but there is a lot of soot in this chimney, so I do recommend that you have it swept. It's the main electrical panel. I'm just going to look at the general location. You can see it's a good location. It's away from the door, good clearance around it. We're going to have a look, see at the meter. The meter's not corked here. It really is good practice to cork it. And here you could see that the plastic tube which runs up and protects the incoming cables, here they are here, has moved apart, and that's wrong. That has got to be sealed between the two. It can be done, but it needs to be done. Down here we've got the ground coming in from the meter here. That's the grounding bar. heater now. This is the main electrical panel. We've got the cover off. We have our grounding bar here and neutral, grounding bar here and neutral. Now it's normal these days to have one bar used for the neutral while one bar is used for the grounding. This one's unusual. This is quite common in older properties. I'm surprised to find it here. What it means is it doesn't really meet the standards of the day when it was built. Standards and practice of the electricians. But it is my opinion it won't cause any problem. They're both physically connected anyway. Normally it's just a good practice to separate the two. Isolation valve for the water supply. Broken it up completely because it's not coming easily. Now, and go back in place. But there's an isolation valve down there. There should be one at the house. This is an isolation valve. It's actually at the front right elevation. Here's the porch here, in the corner. I can't identify whether it's for the sprinkler system, which I think it is. It's for the sprinkler system rather than the house, and I cannot find the valve for the house. It should be located somewhere at the front elevation in line with the water supply that's coming to the house. Now it may be that it's covered by the snow and ice. It could be this one here. I think this again is a irrigation control. Yes, this is irrigation control. So I have to assume that this valve that I've found down here, let's go back, which I earlier said was irrigation, is actually the valve that isolates the house. And if it does, it too has a problem, because that valve doesn't have a bleed on it. Now a bleed goes on the house side of the pipe, and it simply allows you to finally drain any water from the system in the house should you want to drain it to do any repair work. As it is at the moment, there could always be residual water in the house when you turn off the supply, and even though you turned on the taps, and that can cause a little bit of flood. The only way you'd get that out is if you were able to pressurize and blow it out, and even then you can't guarantee, because you know this water here at this point is going to be locked in place without the bleed valve. On the day of the inspection, we registered a water pressure of just under 70 pounds per square inch. This is the AC compressor located at the rear right elevation. The insulation on the cold pipes is failing, and that needs replacing. This is a water heater. It's tankless, temperature pressure relief valve here. Haven't got a safety pan. It's very common for them to be fitted without safety pans, but the standard requirements are for safety pans. Again, we've got this issue with the nails being used to retain all the gas lines. Very, very bad practice. Very bad practice. So you can see here it's already damaged the actual casing. You can see that mark where the cable, or the pipe has slipped through the nails. I mean, whoever thought of using nails to secure a gas line? It just doesn't make sense. And we've got more electrical cables sprung across the service decking, and we've got more nails on the gas here. I think you're going to have to get a certified plumber in and get this all fixed. You do not want to leave it like this. This is the flue line to the AC unit here, and there's water just below this joint. I can't tell where it's coming from. Whether it's coming from the joint or whether it's running down from the roof line. But all I can report is the presence of water there. We have functional flow. You can see the water flowing out here. I just need to take a shower. While at the same time we're running the tub here. This is the master's bathroom, and we have a broken toilet seat. This is the appliance check. Have a look to see what the temperature of the oven is. It's been on for a while. We set it at 350. It's actually registered 370, so that's fine. It's got to be between 350, 325 and 375, and that works. This is the range. It's gas. And all the burners are light. Isolation valve is there. Well, actually it's not there, that's the pipe going into the isolation valve. The isolation valve is going to be at the back here. And I can see it, so it's in place. This is the microwave, it's fitted. No damage on it. This is the dishwasher. It's run through a cycle. It's doing a dry at the moment. It's open soap tray, and on the day of the inspection there's no sign of water leaks. The unit itself drains into the food disposal, but I can't see any sign of an anti-cycling device, so it's just got a loop. No signs of water here. Okay. Food disposal is running. No unusual noises from it. This is the toilet in the guest bathroom, and the handle here, it's broken. It's continually rotating, doesn't actually work. It may be an intermittent fault, it might be fixed. But we lift this up. I came in here a moment ago and it was running, and the valve, as you can see, comes right out, and that is why the handle at the moment doesn't work. So I can fix that for the moment by pushing this right the way through. That fits on there. So now I've got it fitted in place, and you can see I can open and close it, but that whole mechanism there needs replacing. There's a heat signal on the camera here. See that white patch on the camera? Very difficult to see, I know, but trust me, it's a patch that the infrared camera is picking up. What it's picking up is possible water intrusion above us in that ceiling, which needs to be investigated. I'll say that because we've also got water intrusion, which I have to say was mentioned by the home sellers in the master bedroom. We come into the master bedroom and you can see that very bright mark appearing. You'll see an infrared photograph in the report, and that's in the ceiling. And that ceiling up there, and you can see where all the stains are and everything, that ceiling needs to be replaced. The sheetrock, you do not want to leave that sheetrock in place. You want to have that pulled out and that sheetrock replaced, because sheetrock and water do not go together. It causes sheetrock to deteriorate. You can paint over it, but there's a good chance it will give you a problem in the future.